Hello, and welcome back to Bronze to Diamond. My name is JaKaTaK. I've never been in Masters, and so I can't promise that I'll get there. But I've been to Diamond. And I think that I can get back. I've learned a new hotkey layout, or I've downloaded and set up a new hotkey layout. I've switched my mouse hand and my keyboard hand, and so I am playing like a complete noob. And this is the grind. This is the practicing and improving and working on things. We're truly going to go from bronze to Diamond League, as you would, were you a new player. So hello, new player. Follow along. We're going to make roaches, and they will carry us. Will carry us very far. Ugh. Trying to remember the build. Okay. Cancel. We didn't quite get the pairing that we wanted, but we can get it now. This drone goes to the natural expansion. 2 drones. And okay, so we need to set the 3rd base, 4th base, the 5th base, the 6th base, and 7th base. Jump back here. A little bit late. Rally out. Check for triples. Looks like there is a triple somewhere. Not sure where it is. Add to the control group. Start rallying in. Where is that triple? Oh, it's there. So reset the rally. Okay. And next is the Overlord, which will scout the 3rd base location, which I'm going to go ahead and guess is going to be over here. And then we save Larva for safety lings. We're playing against another Zerg player. So we're actually going to redirect this Overlord. With the Zerg players, when you're playing against Zerg, you can... Oh, and we pull off gas. Back to drones. We can queue this up. With the Zerg players, you can put your Overlords pretty much right in a row because you want to see these Zerglings coming out. I don't know the pathing. I don't know if them taking a downward turn like that is weird. Alright, now we need to start putting back on gas. I'll put this one here too. So we get 3. Inject. We should be looking at a 3rd base right now. Tell me I'm building an Overlord right now. I'm not. Ah! What a disaster. Okay, so they have a bunch of links, so we need to make our own links as well. The positioning of this queen is really important. We want it to be on this side of the map. We're gonna hold position here. Actually, we're gonna inject.
Metamorphosis complete.
I'm gonna go ahead and build our Roach Warren and oops. These things here to build a wall. They did go home. They didn't attack our 3rd base. Very fortunate for us. We're gonna drone. That's why the Overlord position is so important. just need to get an overlord over here because the pathing seems to be taking them in that direction. I'll get some more queens, I suppose. Queens are good, right? That might have been a misspend, actually. We want, I think we want a layer now. Backspace. The other thing that's good to know in this matchup is that attack upgrades for roaches are really important. But defense, I mean not defense. Yeah, defense upgrades are a little bit less important. We're just gonna send this queen over here since we have an extra queen. We need to start getting the rest of our gases. It's actually quite late to get the rest of our gases, but this is, oh no! I set this up the wrong way. Oh, man. We need to watch these in case it banelings. It looks like they sacrificed a lot of economy to make that attack. We need to reset this camera. And reset our rallies. Over to this base.
Our forces are under attack.
So we had some quite sloppy play there. As you can see, it's much easier to say to do a certain thing than to actually do it. We want roach speed. And we want roaches. But it looks like they're going to leave the video game. And that wasn't even really too much mechanics going on there, as you can see. The big advantage, and this happens especially in ZVZ, the big advantage is in basic decision making and scouting. So by having that overlord position, a little bit different in ZVZ, we could see the whole attack path pretty much, although I should have put a little bit further south. And because of that, we knew when to build units and when to build drones. If you know when to build units and when to build drones, you can have terrible mechanics, get supply blocked, miss most of your injects, and still win the game. How did we do? 100 APM. So after our 14 hours of drills and team games and practice, we've managed to put up 100 APM on the board. Not too bad. All right, this time we'll be playing against a Protoss player. So normal overlord situation, holding down the worker button, building the first worker, sending out, shift clicking, and getting ready for the extractor trick, setting this camera up, and the next thing is the overlord. The overlord is going to actually stay here for a bit. We did a couple of queues over there with the overlord. Alright, we get ready for the building of these. We set them to the patches with 1, and now we set the rest of our cameras 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Jump back over here. Looks like we made it just before the 300 minerals. Reset. And rally. So same exact thing. I think the same map as last time. So we're doing the same exact thing as last time. Same build. Except the overlord path is a little bit different. That's really the only difference. Add the spawning pool to the control group, and then these bros just go ahead. You can see because I shift clicked to the closer patch first and to the further patch second, we don't have to fix any triples. So that knowledge will allow you to have a really efficient economy. And it's just this little habit that you can build. That's not too hard to do, but will give you some advantage. We're always looking for things that are easy habits to build early that will give us some advantages. And then they're just sitting there helping you out. They don't have to be too significant. They don't have to make a big giant change. Other thing is, queens first here. Queens first because they don't change your selection. And now we make the lings. And we pull off gas. Whoops, a little off there. And back to drones. We're just going to go across the map. This is a little weird. The first overlord, when it gets across there, if you don't see a natural expansion, you need to start making some units. Queens are great. The one thing we did not do, though, is build our overlords. So still trying to improve that situation out. We're going to use units here to do some scouting for us. No need to take another base. So this is a one base attack.
Our forces are under attack.
And I think to defeat it, we can get a Baling Nest. Let's see if that works.
Are under attack.
Oh, we're gonna have to put back the gas.
Metamorphosis complete.
We'll have to get our second gas as well. All right, so we're gonna mess up our mineral pairing here. There are more important things than mineral pairing. We're gonna go up to 3 gas. And actually, let's get the creep spread out. The creep spread should help us against this attack as well. I'm gonna sacrifice this overlord so that we know when the attack is coming in. We are floating a ton of money right now. Alright, and that's as many drones as I'm going to get. We are going to get a macro hatch, I think. Oh, I didn't build that. Oh, right. This is where the hotkeys might sink us. We had a good idea. But
Our forces are under attack.
okay. Creep spread's very helpful when you're defending attacks. You don't really need, you only need 1 queen per hatchery. We might need speed. It's we're getting the layers so that we, in the case that we might need Okay, here's the attack. And it's very small. So we're gonna be able to win this fight just as a result of our being able to build more stuff. We could probably win this with just links, but there's no reason not to put some Bane links in here. If our opponent's on 1 base, we only need to be ahead by 1 base. That's okay. And we can go ahead and get back to droning. And take the 3rd base. Continue to spread the creep. Alright, so this is something I don't have a lot of practice with. Is using 2 control groups in this hotkey layout. Mostly been using 1. So So we have first control group, and then we have the second control group with the links. First control group will bust down the door. Lings will run in. And should be able to win us the day. Practice. First control group, second control group. Yeah, we're definitely not controlling them very well. I think that's part of the reason why we haven't won just yet. Oh, this isn't in the control group.
Mineral field depleted.
Okay.
Mineral field depleted.
Could have a secret base. We have to be careful for that. Still getting used to doing surrounds. I'm doing counterattack.
Mineral field
Looks like they have a sneaky base. The other way that we can do this is just to get a roach line.
Our forces are under attack. Our forces are under attack.
All right, there we go. Okay. I'm a little bit curious when that second base popped up. If it was a reaction. Okay, so it was there for a while. It's always hard to tell what's going on when someone's on one base for a very long time like that. That's such a small unit count. You can never really know if it's because they're not macroing well and they have a bunch in the bank, or because they have a secret base. Fun game, in any case. And we're out of bronze. We march on. It's good to stand up between games. It's good to stand up. And it's good to shut the autofocus off on your camera when you're streaming, but sometimes you forget. This is also a Bronze to Grandmaster streamer series where you're going to learn how to be a Grandmaster streamer. Just kidding, Diamond. Bronze to Master has such a better ring to it. Sorry I can't provide that high level of gameplay, but... Alright. Next is the Overlord, which will go to the natural, and then over here. I want to check the race real quick. Turn. Okay. And you'll go to the natural. Now we're getting ready for the 2 drones. 2 drones are up. Now we set the rest of our cameras. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go back here. Hopefully before 300 minerals. So we're a little closer this time. Good. Get ready to build these drones right away. Next drone. Set the rally point. Set all the rally points. Haven't really a chance to do the build properly yet, but that's okay. Hopefully we'll remember when we get into a game where that happens. I wasn't checking for triples, but there is one out there. There it is. Okay. Wait. Oh no, not yet. We don't have an Overlord coming yet. Check the third base. Okay, you do go back. Ah, I built an extra drone. Don't cancel it. If you build an extra drone, don't cancel it. It's just an extra drone. Two queens. 3 pairs of lings. Oh, no. 2 pairs of lings. Ah, hey, that's so rude. Don't be so rude. Don't be rude to me. That's why that's one of the reasons why the drone isn't that great. Oh, whoops. Need to take these guys off the gas. We don't need the gas this early. That's why we took off gas in the first place. The third is supposed to come in at 2:30, and so like maybe we just do it this way before the third queen. Maybe the third queen comes after. Maybe that's how those other folk get it done. Oh, we're missing this 30 Overlord. A little bit too frequently here. Not good. Let's see what's going on over here. Terrans can land their command centers. A lot of Marines, though. I'm going to put you on the high ground so you can still see what's going on. I'm going to leave one of you back, send the rest of you home.
Metamorphosis complete.
Creep spread. Keep building queens. Oh man, Overlord supply blocks are all over the place. Ah. Okay. And we forgot the Overlord speed. Forgot to put back in gas. We can get our other gas now. Need to get our queen there. We need to get the Roach Warren and 2 Evos. Send you back. Put the rest of these gas over here. Start spraying the creep around. We're way ahead in overlords. No attack coming just yet. And we need to send the rest of our workers here. And we need a lair yesterday. Let's send the slow overlord in. See what's going on. And then the third base, we get the rest of our gas. We're probably good to go for a little while here.
Our forces are under attack.
Okay. Checked.
Metamorphosis complete. Evolution complete.
Build some overlords. Build some units. Inject. Build some overlords. Build units.
Unacceptable command.
That's rapid fire. We need more overlords. Units. Alright, 6 minutes. We were supposed to get our 4th base. We'll get it now. Inject. Build some overlords.
Mutation complete.
Add this to the control group. Units. We're gonna need these for the tanks. More overlords. Inject.
Complete.
Shift, hold L, drag. More overlords, more units.
Mutation.
We need 4 drones to finish off the saturation over here. Shift, hold and drag L. Units. We're maxed out. Alright, maxed out at 8:30. It's not what our goal is. Our goal is 8 minutes. But it's still pretty good.
Mineral
Alright, we can see that they're
fields
set up.
depleted.
We're gonna come in from this side.
Unacceptable command.
Oh, you should probably keep getting upgrades. That's pretty important. Before we attack, we're gonna do an inject round. And now we're gonna go.
Mineral field depleted. 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 Depleted.
That was wrong. Build units. This is why macro is important. Despite the fact that that was an awful choke, terrible position to attack into, and we had very bad control, bad mechanics, we were still able to win. Checked. And there we go. Probably one of the things I need to remember. So before I'll stop getting away with it, basically, is that having an overlord with that army is very important, or two. Overseer, ideally, in case there are any cloaked units. But that will allow me to see that high ground and take that tank out and take a really favorable engagement. But because I didn't have high ground vision, that was a very cost-inefficient fight as a result. Holy shit. Oh, we're doing rapid fire. Whenever you hold down a button and do rapid fire, it inflates your APM like crazy. Be careful. And it happens a lot with Zergs, so. A lot of times on the statistics, it looks like the Zergs have really high APM, but that's just because you have a hotkey layout that has rapid fire. So, just keep that in mind. We march on. Let's really try to remember to get this 30 Overlord. That's been plaguing us. Alright, going against Protoss. Send you out to the closer one, to the further one, to the closer one. Oof, oof, oof. Too much. Gotta prioritize. You don't want to spend too much time doing the worker pairing. Worker pairing is very low priority. You should do it only if you have extra APM to spend. We do want to set this though. And the next two workers. And third base, fourth base, fifth base, sixth base, seventh base. Go back here, hopefully before 300 minerals. Back to drones. Oh, I'm supposed to be holding those down. All right, so these are going to be a little late. And we're getting cannon rush. Great. So we're just going to grab 6 workers over here, start attacking this. Set up all the things that we need. And grab 2 workers to chase down the probe. Looks like he's gone. So we can go back to our normal routine. Check for all the locations. Oh. Nope, there is some commitment here. Okay. Sometimes people will fake, but usually not at this level. It's important not to lose too much of your economy. I find that when dealing with the cannon rush, over-pulling your workers is preferable to under-pulling them most of the time, especially at the lower leagues. The upper leagues, people will try to play mind games with you to gain an advantage, but at the lower leagues, it's not as strong because you can't reliably play the mind game. Alright, so we're going to get some Zerglings and send them over here so we can get our workers back to work. And how do you deal with a cannon rush? Just like that. We're actually going to just sacrifice this Overlord to make sure we are okay. And yeah, they're very committed to the rush. They're very committed to having pretty much no units. Great. So we're just going to get a bunch of drones. You might think, ah, they made a failure. Let's attack them. Nope. We don't need to attack them. We need to make sure they're not taking another base. We stay one base ahead. And get some Ravagers and bust down the door. And we're going to want to get Overlord speed. And just do all the things that we normally do, except because they're staying on one base, we're not going to get the third. Maybe that's not correct. I'm not a perfect strategist, but we'll be able to do the basic things to help you get out of these lower leagues. It's not bronze to masters, it is bronze to diamond. I'm just a diamond pleb. Getting supply blocked and all that. We'll just put that on a control group for later. Whoops.
Metamorphosis complete.
That's really unfortunate. Okay, so now we're gonna want to look around for any shenanigans that might be occurring while we're getting set up. I want to see what they're gonna do next. It's a Stargate? Cool. So we're just going to go ahead and put a Spore Crawler in our mineral lines, just to be safe. Because we want to be able to focus all of our attention on the attack that we're going to do. And we're going to do that attack now, before the Stargate gets a chance to do anything useful. Don't forget to get Overlords. Inject. Helpful trick. Ravagers move a little bit faster than roaches, so you want to morph them right away. They'll get across the map faster.
Evolution complete.
Remember, this time we're going to want to have
Evolution complete.
So they're going to spend all their money on stuff that we're going to be able to deal with pretty easily. We're going to put the Ravagers in a special group and start taking down all this stuff. If you do the corrosive files in between buildings, it will kill both of them. Okay, and these cannons don't have any power. The main force can come in. And remember that that Stargate is going to be particularly bothersome, so you're going to want to make sure they can't build anything out of it. We don't have a lot of upward shooting things right now. You just do this little micro group. And there we go. So we kind of got to do our build a little bit. We made it to 100 supply at 8 minutes. Half of what we wanted to do. That's the thing about the cannon rush. It's not really dealing with the cannons. It's recognizing that the more money they spend on cannons is the more money, the more money they can't spend on stuff that's going to attack you. And so instead of building units in that case, that's when we built drones. And that's why we're able to win. Actually, look at that. They did the cannon rush, and so we had a short term where our resource collection rate was very bad. And then we're able to overcome with a very high resource collection rate after the cannon rush failed. So we did overpull a bit. We lost mining time, which was bad, but we got the long-term victory. I think if you're perfect with your pulls, it's either 3 or 4 drones per cannon and 2 drones on the probe. If you just put the 2 drones and you click on the probe will eventually die. Because every time a unit attacks, it has to stop a little bit, and that's what makes the probe kind of last forever and kind of kite you forever. But if there's 2 workers chasing the one probe, it will always lose, eventually. Unless you get Grandmaster stuff, but we're not talking about Grandmaster stuff, because I'm not a Grandmaster, okay? I'm not there yet. I think I did that backwards. Second Overlord. Just gonna check around here. Okay. Getting ready for our 2 drones. One goes here, one goes here. And now we can set the rest of our cameras. Crap. Totally messed that up. Oh no, I didn't send the drone. Disasters! Disasters! Welcome to Disasters USA. I have to reset these cameras at some point too. Okay. 3rd camera, 4th camera, 5th camera, 6th, 7th. Okay, there we go. Back to drones, looking for triple. So, big little flub there. Big little mistake, right, in the build order, but we recovered. And just keep playing, do the best you can. 19 is an Overlord. I'm going to check the 3rd base, which I think they're most likely to take this 3rd base. Try to find little high ground places for your Overlord to be safe on. Is Protoss or a Terran? Protoss. Okay. We can just set the rally over here now. And things will be a little bit out of order. We're not going to wait for the hatchery to finish because it was very late. We're just going to try to get the same thing. So we still get 6 lings, still get Zergling speed, still pull off a gas. Eventually. Oops. Still go back to drones and get the 3rd base and queue up the, well, let's build the Overlord. Queue up the next queen over here. Oh, we only got 1 queen. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Mistakes, mistakes. Okay. And 3rd base is this hotkey. Okay. Okay, we're once again running into a player that is not doing the normal thing. They're doing something aggressive. We're gonna build our Roach Warren early. Put back on gas. Inject. Probably afford to build some drones. Okay, 2 photon cannons. That's an expansion. So they have 2 photon cannons. I have a hatchery. If I defend, we're kind of equal. We should be equal in our forces, approximately. Inject. Get some more queens. It takes 4 links to kill a zealot. We really want to know when they're moving out, though, so we're going to do that. Oh, another zealot. Oh, and a pylon. Okay. Whoops, we forgot to take this out of our control group. Let's move him there.
Our forces are under attack.
Oh.
Our forces are under attack.
We're just going to get 2 bases. They're on 1 base. We have 2 bases. That means we're ahead economically. Which means the way they're going to kill us is by having more units than us. The way that we're going to kill ourselves is by... Alright. We're going to come over here because it's actually going to be more important to scout the natural than the third. It's by building overlords.
Metamorphosis complete.
Oh, we need these guys and this. And a 4th base. Oh, we should take all of our gases, probably. Yes, we should take all of our gases. Inject. Build some overlords. And we really need to get this creep spread going here. It's going to help us immensely defend this attack, which is imminent. Oh, our scoutling died. I'm just sending out the whole force right now. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take the gas at our 3rd, I think. Because we need more Ravagers. Simply have a lot more stuff than they do, so we should be able to just win here. We saw them using a warp prism, moving across the map, so we're going to prepare a defensive control group against them. You can get most of the things that you want to get done with 2 control groups. You don't really need too much more than that before you start getting fancy. Looks like they didn't send the warp prism out too far. Now we're going to win. So we have a question from the chat, which is going to be relevant for the YouTube video as well. And we're just about at an hour of the recording. So it's a good time to do a little chat and talk about what's going on. So ETS Harry asks, why the complete mechanics reset, if I may ask? And so I think one of the criticisms of people doing bronze to master series, the point, all right, of a bronze to, we're going to call it diamond. The point of a bronze to diamond series is educational, primarily. Some people do it to make them themselves feel better. I'm doing it for educational purposes. People like Vibe and Neuro, they do it for educational purposes to try and help people out with some of the basics of the game. I think that one of the frustrating things about watching those series and trying to learn from them, as I have in the past, is that the person performing all these things has amazing mechanics. And so I can't really relate to their experience because they can just do everything so quickly and easily. And even if they slow it down on purpose, they do it right every time. They don't make the same mistakes as I do. When they mean to issue an attack move, they always issue it. For me, you know, I'll mess up on an attack move. I'll be like, oh, I want to do this surround and attack. And I'm like, oh, I morphed to Ravager instead of attack moving. God damn it, hands, why do you betray me? You know? So that's I think, it gives it a little bit more realistic experience of like, what is it like going through the bottom leagues? And of course, I still have all my StarCraft knowledge, and that's what's helping to carry me through, and that's kind of what I'm trying to show. And then with the portion before we jumped on the ladder, I try to basically break down a way that you can get your basic mechanics very quickly through the boring method called deliberate practice. And so I just think this is a little bit more realistic tutorial series than doing a Bronze to Masters. And oh, right, I haven't mentioned it. I have switched my mouse hand to my keyboard hand. So normally I'm a weirdo. Normally I have my mouse in my left hand and my keyboard in my right hand. But now I've switched them and I'm a normal person now. I have my mouse in my right hand, my keyboard in my left hand. And so it's very foreign to me. Even making boxes and clicking things is a little bit foreign to me and uncomfortable. And so I have the mechanics of, let's see, where did I end up? 128 APM, right? The APM is very low. And I'm trying hard, okay? That's not me pushing this down or being slow. This is me trying my hardest to do my best. And I have 128 APM. My main account has Diamond League in all 3 races, and I'm generally above 200 APM, right? Just to give you a sense of this big crunch. And if you go back into the video series earlier, you'll see that I started with much lower APM, even than that, around the 50 area. So yeah, so that's the kind of idea, the philosophy behind the series. I hope that you've been enjoying it, and that you'll join me next time as we continue to march our way through the leagues the best we can. Good luck, have fun.